The first one is list the subdoshas of Pitta, and I think everybody got it. And the next question was, what is the concept of doshas and Prakriti in Ayurveda? How is it unique, right, in not more than 100 words? So everybody gave a really beautiful, so we understood that all of you have actually understood the concept, but maybe not 100%, but maybe something like 70%, but 70% understanding at this point is amazing. We cannot stress enough the elements, the Mahabhutas, how the Mahabhutas are created starting from ether, air, fire, water, earth, and it's from them all the doshas are coming. So the concept of doshas go back to the concept of Pancha Mahabhutas. Very, very important concept, cannot be stressed enough. Even if you go to block 2, even if you go and study BAMS, you know, Ayurvedic doctor, you have to have those very, very basic concepts on your fingertips, and how these you know, 5 key elements are making up the doshas and how they're manifesting themselves within the body. So people gave their own take on it, and it was very good. And if you have any questions, just ask. So that was a good one. And how are the doshas present in our body? List location of each subdosha. Yeah, this was a very long question, and some people gave it verbatim from the book, which is fine, but really we wanted, some people gave their own interpretation. So really the ideal answer is your own interpretation based on the facts in the books. So some people in their own interpretation actually changed facts, and we really don't want to plagiarize or copy any content. You know, so if you do use a book, we want you to use the source, but in your own words, pretty much, we want to understand how you've understood the concept of doshas in the physical body. But you know, pretty much everybody did a really, really good job again. I think everybody got the matching the following, the Shad-darshanas, Sato, Rajas, Tamas. I think people who in block 2 were doing the 3 gunas in a lot of detail. So you know, in Ayurveda and the mind, Atul is going into how when Vata is in Sattva or Vata is in Rajas or Vata is in Tamas. Does it make more sense for those who are doing the Ayurveda and the mind class, how the Vata mind and the Pitta mind and the Kapha mind are changing as they are being influenced by the 3 gunas, or combination of 3 gunas or the 2 gunas? Okay, I think everybody. So this one, even if the computer told us it was wrong, we went and gave you full marks for it anyway because it's a computer, so it's okay. Alrighty. Okay, this is what I kind of wanted to discuss. Remember Ram, we discussed him in the Ayurveda 101 quiz. He's a Pitta Kapha. That means if somebody is a Pitta Kapha Prakriti, the chances of their Pitta going out of balance in summer and their Kapha going out of balance in winter is very common. If somebody is Vata Pitta, then their Vata and Pitta are going to go out of balance, more out of balance, because that's their Prakriti. So let's look at his, really this is a question for Ayurveda and the mind, but we kind of gave it before. He is lethargic, sentimental, attached. So when you're attached to something, what is the quality of a Kapha person? The quality of a Kapha person is, the quality of Kapha is it's unctuous and it's sticky. It sticks. That's why Kapha people are extremely sentimental and they're attached. You know, a Kapha woman will keep, a 50-year-old Kapha woman may keep things from when she was 12 years old, and she won't ever forget because she's sticky. She's sentimental, she's attached, which is a good thing, but sometimes it can be too much. Same thing with Kapha will also hold on to weight because they're attached, they're sticky. They will mentally hold on to weight. They will. If you give an empty space to a Kapha, they will fill it up with things because they don't want that much space. But actually, space is good for them. You know, it gets their Vata up and moving. In fact, and if you look at it, cause of a lot of diseases is the blockage of Srotas, and Kapha doesn't allow the Vata to move. So what is this person doing? Look at the mind. The mind is lethargic, it's not moving, it's slow, which is a quality of a Kapha. Very sentimental and attached, which is a quality of Kapha. Sticky. Eating sweet, sour, and salty things, well, this is really conditioning. just stuck on the couch, and very low energy, like mand agni. So this is a typical, and we are already telling you that his sadhak pitta is obviously disturbed. He's unable to concentrate. A protocol to help him would be kapha protocol: reduce milk, wheat, sweets, and increase astringent and pungent bitter foods, get him moving, and activities that stimulate his mind, and so on. So I think everybody got this correct. My question to you is, besides this diet for this person, reduce milk, wheat, sweets, and these foods, what else would you suggest for him to get off the couch and get moving? What protocol? Anyone? How is kapha manifest in the human body? Kapha is in the structures, dhatu, mucus. Is it also the cerebrospinal fluid? Is it also the synovial fluid? Is it also the mucosa? Is it also the plasma? It's literally rasa dhatu is all 100% kapha. Rasa dhatu is kapha. All the water, all the fluids, all the cerebrospinal fluid, synovial fluid, everything is kapha. When kapha is drying up, and you have so much kapha lubricating your organs, and if you're passing out hard nuggets, there's not enough kapha in your body. And chances are when somebody is passing those hard nuggets, their skin would be affected because now vata is probably going into the rasa dhatu, and they probably won't even have a sense of taste. So somebody walks in, and one of the first questions you can ask is, can you taste anything? And they say you don't have a sense of taste. It's possible that not only their vata is affected, but their vata has left its place and it has moved somewhere else. Like I think Aparna ji had asked this question about how can a kapha or pitta person have constipation. And I had answered about how doshas can move out of its sthanam. In fact, that is Ayurvedic pathology. Doshas move out, either from the antar marg or bahar marg, and we do that in Ayurvedic pathology. Dr. Sahana is doing that with one of our Block 2 groups right now. So Mala Pariksha is very, very important. How many times they go into the bathroom, stool, are you sweating at all? Because sweat is very important, Mutra and Purisha. I know. I'll share one case with you. I had a little girl with a really, really bad case of eczema. I mean, really bad. And she was passing real hard nuggets. So I didn't really want to do the, give a little kid busting, but we did. Just the internal oleation and external oleation, within a few days, there was a marked change. So it's amazing, the internal, because in Ayurveda, when we give basti, we actually give oil in through the rectum. We're actually giving oil in. So, and because it's not going through the route where you're actually eating it, and it has to go through and get digested, because the vata system is not even digesting anything. So giving it directly through the rectum route in a basti, in an enema. So usually we'll give a water basti followed by an oil basti followed by a water basti. Sometimes we might even give herbs. Yeah, if you have a little baby and they have colic, don't we put hing oil in the navel, and it helps the baby, a colicky baby? So definitely works. In fact, navel is, around the, if you have, in fact, the entire marma therapy is about putting essential oils on different marma points. So you can put different essential oils and Ayurvedic oils on all the 107 marma points and receive different results from there. So first, we are not going to do Mala Pariksha right here, but as you go in Block 2, you will be doing Mala Pariksha. But determining the state of Agni is kind of, you are going into the Mala Pariksha already, whether the Agni is high or low or it's imbalanced. And this is very common when women have periods, their apana actually increases. So for women, you also want to determine their monthly cycle. Because a lot of women issues are to do with their hormones, and women's hormones are so tricky, So when you have a man who walks through the door and you're helping and, acting as an Ayurvedic health coach for a man, it's easier. because we are not really dealing with their hormones unless they're in the 50s. But because you just determine the state of Agni, you determine stress. I mean, there are other challenges dealing with men because they don't want to admit that there's a problem. But when a woman walks in, you want to first ask, forget everything else. They don't even need to tell you what the problem is. Determine the state of their Agni after you've done the Prakriti Vikriti test. Determine the monthly cycle. If a woman's on birth control and prior to being on birth control, she had really heavy duty periods. The birth control will give very false periods. They're not real. It's not real, but it does balance. But if you have a person who doesn't have monthly cycle, or they have a cycle every 2 or 3 months, or they have a cycle after every 20 days, or it's a heavy cycle. So your protocol can also be, let's help you to have a monthly cycle and reduce that. So just by pacifying their Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, you can help their monthly cycle. We haven't really done the women's support in detail, but I just wanted to give you a couple of, Shatavari is one herb that can be given to Vata and Pitta women. Let me write this down. With ghee. And in the Tridoshas module, we have a class that Dr. Sahana did about women's support, me and Dr. Sahana, and you can actually watch that. And there's a lot of herbs, and a couple of herbs that I like to use for a Vata woman is Women's Support by Banyan Botanicals. Very, very good one. It does not have Ashoka in it, which is the most important women's support herb for Pitta women and Kapha women, because it's very astringent, so you don't want to give it to a Vata woman. And there's another one that I like to use. It's very powerful. I use it myself. It's called Smooth Cycle by Maharishi Ayurveda. Except this one has, just recently I found out 2 of my patients had some kind of funny reaction to it, and they actually were allergic to sulfur drugs. And it has a bhasma which is processed in sulfur. So if you please ask, if you're giving, women's support, you can close your eyes and pretty much give it. It's very, very mild. But if you have somebody who has very heavy duty periods and they have periods every, few weeks, and they can't even function, there's so much pain, especially in a Pitta woman, then you want to give something very powerful. So Smooth Cycle by Maharishi Ayurveda is very, very powerful medication. It has all bhasmas. It has pearl, or it has sandalwood. It has coral. All of them, it has bhasmas, and it has, of course, Ashoka and Shatavari and mango and lodh and fig. It's very, very beautiful for Pitta and Kapha women, but it's very complex. So if the digestion of a person you're prescribing cannot handle something like that, then just go with Shatavari with ghee. Very simple. Or if they can handle it, then give women support. So Dr. Sahana, if you want to maybe give 1 or 2 tips on women support herbs that they can give, and even for yourself, ladies, we are all creatures of cycle. I find that if my cycle is normal, I'm actually a better practitioner. And when I have my cycle, I don't want to go and do nadi prediction of someone because I'm not in my body at that point. Dr. Sahana, do you want to tell us about some women support herbs here?
Yeah, sure, Monica ji. As far as women support is concerned, we need not go too far for the herbs or really the medicines. Even some of the spices used in the day-to-day life are really good for women. For example, if you take the fenugreek, it's the methika, we call in Sanskrit the seeds. They are really, really helpful for a lactating mother, and they help to balance the doshas in the uterus. It's really good for women taking a methi or the fenugreek on a regular basis, and also the simple spice like cumin. So it has a proven antispasmodic activity. So usually in case of painful menstruation, just boiling water with the cumin and drinking it with a little bit of ghee, and even if you want, you can add a little bit of rock salt. That will help to cure the pain during the menstruation, and also some other kinds of food like dadima. It's a pomegranate. It's really, really good for women with a high pitta issues where they're bleeding too much or painful menstruation, because the pomegranate is really cooling, and it's the best pitta pacifying drugs. So like that, the many spices which we can incorporate in our day-to-day food habits also can be really, really beneficial for the women support. This fenugreek I told and the cumin, they are very commonly used in India during the postpartum period to control water and also to increase the lactation in a nursing mother. So other than that, if we consider the herb, some other herbs like punarnava and also sometimes the dashamula is going to help the women menstrual issues. So there are some other also which you will study in the herbology module in detail. But as Monica ji was telling, the shatavari, ashoka, pomegranate, and some of the spices, they really, really are helpful in case of the women issues. Yeah.
So here, and I want to something that I learned just yesterday. One of the OBGYN, who's also an Ayurveda practitioner, did a big shared a study with us that they did a huge study on women in menopause, actually, with lots of hot flashes, and this group of women, both all Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and they went through a traditional route of using bioidentical hormones. So one group, another group was given just Shirodhara and Saraswati Arishtam, as well as Ashoka and some of these other herbs. And surprise, surprise, the group which was given Shirodhara and Saraswati and these women support herbs in menopause actually showed 80% improvement in their hormone levels. So which is, we're not really surprised. So this study happened in Gujarat, and Gujarat Mahavidyalaya, Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, that's where it happened. But try, good luck finding Saraswati Arishta in the United States. But it's easy to find Saraswati powder, but not the Arishtam. Arishtams are pretty hard. Arishtam is a wine form of. So yeah, we've shared this whiteboard with you. So for determining the state of Agni and helping the Agni with food and herbs, of course it's important. But for a woman, and 90% of patients you'll have will be women. Again, another study, NIH and CAM did a study on who is using complementary medicine, and again, surprise, surprise, it was educated women and generally 90% women who were using alternative medicine. And even in my practice, I always get more women than men. And with women, either they're in perimenopause and they're in the whole menopause, post-menopause, or in the monthly cycle, and it's so important to balance that. Now, our block case study block form does not really, because it's out of the scope of this 100 hours to actually go deeply into the women's cycle. But we just wanted to give some information because we want you to have the tools with which you can start integrating Ayurveda in your everyday practice. So very simple, balance the doshas by balancing Agni through diet and pranayama and yoga, maybe herbs, and balance the monthly cycle, and a lot of issues can be helped and supported. So, because this is the last class, I wanted to give that. Okay, so actually, let's go on to whose case study is this? Can someone tell me?
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So this is I noticed I didn't put the complaint on here, but this is a 47-year-old male, so that would make him a Pitta age. And he was complaining about sinus and nasal congestion that started about maybe a year ago. And he's been to the various Western doctors, of course, and has had allergy testing in that sense, and everything comes up negative. His Prakruti, as you can see, is V3, P2K1. He's very Vata predominant when we do the dosha test. And then we went through and did it again for right now, and his Vata had gone up, like almost double. And in talking to him during this whole thing, it was just kind of like typical Vata, like interrupting things, like kind of not on track, like talking like 5 different things at once. So it was pretty funny to me because I could see that, in our consultation kind of thing. And I asked him about bowel movements, and he said that they are actually pretty stable. He almost presents like a kapha person, where it's just like one, very large bowel movement a day. It's usually the same time of day. It hasn't really changed him much. He has been very stressed out at work and at home. Like his business is just getting really crazy, and he's been flying around on planes, going to different meetings, and his partners that he works with are kind of crazy, and so he's been affected a little bit by that too, I think. I asked about his appetite, and he said his appetite is super high. He can eat, all day long, and he doesn't like to not eat. So if he's not eating, he's just like, I gotta eat, I gotta eat, gotta eat. So his appetite's really strong, and that's always been like that for him apparently. And then to determine like the Agni, I don't know what to say about that, because it seemed, in a way, it almost seemed like it was balanced, but I'm basing that on the bowel movements and what's going on. Like he hasn't really had any like reflux issues, which he typically would, but he hasn't really complained about that over the last like 6 months. I don't know. As far as that goes, I'm not sure what else to say about that. And then for the subdoshas, I kind of figured that the Pachaka Pitta would be slightly increased, because even though he said he didn't have reflux issues, he was still kind of feeling like maybe he would get that like that nervousness kind of thing in his stomach, where he feels like he has to eat, and if he doesn't eat, then he doesn't feel as good, so almost like a nausea type of thing. So I thought maybe that would be up. And then clearly the Udana Vata was up because of earlier, just talking. He wasn't able to communicate well. His Vayana Vata had, I think, gone down. He was telling me that because of all of this stuff, he hasn't had the same relationships like with children and his family members. They've been like kind of just not getting along, and he hasn't been able to talk to them. So I thought that was interesting too. And then overall, I would think Vata, Vata and Kapha may be predominant. I'm not sure.
Thank you. Sahanaji, you have any questions here? Sahanaji, do you have any questions?
Sorry, I forgot to turn my microphone on. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'd like to say something about the issue of like super high appetite, the increased Pachak Pitta and the Mandhagni. You said that he has a very good appetite, and he says that he could eat all day long, but you're not sure about his state of Agni. So sometimes what happens, people will feel hungry, they eat more, but it's not necessarily that they are digesting the things what they are eating. So when that case happens, then we say appetite is good, but the Agni is low. The things what he's eating is not being digested properly because of the poor state of the Agni. So this we discussed while we discussed about the Pitta, the Pachaka Pitta, and the difference between Pitta and Agni, and you guys discussed in the forum too. So how to determine when his appetite is good, how to determine whether the Agni is good or it's weak. So there are a couple of tools like looking at the tongue, if it is coated, or looking at his feces. Feces, when the Agni is properly working, the food is getting digested, the feces will be really light and it floats on the water since it doesn't contain any undigested food material. On the other hand, if the Agni is weak, the food is passed as it is. It's not digested. So this is like heavy kind of feces and it sinks to the bottom. So by asking some of these questions, you can assess the state of Agni. irrespective of the appetite. So if he's having some of these symptoms, you can definitely say that the Agni is Manda and Agni is low. If that is the case, then I would really like you to take care of the Agni first, because whatever food or medicine you give to that patient should be digested by the Agni first to act on the system. So if the Agni is not working properly, no matter what herbs like Vata or Kapha pacifying or balancing herbs or diet you suggest, it's not going to be digested by him, and it's thrown out of the body as an undigested waste material. So whenever the Agni is not working properly, it's the best thing to take care of the Agni first and then plan the other protocol. And also I see one more thing here about the prana and tejas. So when prana, the tejas and the ojas are low, there is a chances of getting various kinds of imbalances or health issues. So I would also like to concentrate or plan some protocol about on increasing the ojas of that person. So other than that, everything looks okay, and you did a good job, and you presented your case neatly. And this is just what we expect at this block 1 level, because the other things are like more detailed. Pariksha, as I said, the Mala Pariksha or the examination of the tongue are a little bit detailed, but for this level, I think you did a great job. Congratulations.
Okay, so Lisa, are you there? I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think is this person's state of mind?
You mean as far as the dosha?
No, just generally, what is his state of mind?
Oh, I don't know. Just he's been, like I said, just sort of stressed out and not organized and not clear.
What is the root cause of all his problems? I've only heard what you've told me, so I've already determined what the root cause is. What do you think the root cause is in his case?
Oh, the vata imbalance?
No, the root cause is he's afraid. He's in fear of losing his business. He's afraid, he's stressed out, he's traveling, his business is not doing well. He's trying to control the situation by traveling and, trying to control things.
Totally, 100%.
So that is the root cause of all the problem. His sadhak pitta is out of balance. His vyan vata is out of balance. So of course, as far as physically is concerned, increasing the agni, not just of the body, of the GI tract, but increasing the agni of his mind and balancing his mind, I would say would be the first protocol.
Okay.
Because where does vata is not just residing in the colon, but vata is actually the nerve impulses. And, I think he has some emotional issues going on and some blockages in his heart. So actually, it's very easy. Some things, if I don't know how open he is, but maybe doing some pranayama, some meditation, taking time to reflect, like Christina said, taking a walk and reflecting, just calming down, because really he's not in control of life. And it's not just him. A lot of us get caught. I mean, I have got caught in that whole cycle of, I need to make money, I need to make my leads, I have my clinic, blah, blah, blah. But really, at the end of the day, you realize you're not in control. And once you let go of the control, a lot of stress leaves. Because what's going to happen is going to happen is going to happen. We can't control it. And I think this person's stress is he's trying to control things around him. And the more he tries to control, the more he loses it. So, if you could guide him that, you are not in control, what's going to happen is going to happen, but worrying yourself sick over it is not going to help. And I don't know how open he is, but because you said his Udan Vata is very high and, his mind was going from one place to another. So one way to, help the mind is through breathing, and breathing early in the morning when the oxygen, or maybe 7 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning when the oxygen is a little bit high is a good idea. Breathing in all that oxygen and just doing some simple breathing exercises can help his mind. If he's open to doing some mantras for the mind, I don't know, some chanting, that would be fantastic. we're really going into something that is out of the scope of the block 1. As far as the scope of block 1 is concerned, you've done a perfect job. It's exactly what we wanted, like Dr. Sana said. But, you know, since you're already in block 2 and you're studying Ayurveda and the mind, how rajasic is this person? He is so much in the mode of rajas and tamas at this point. You know, he's running around trying to control things. And so when I was saying for women, it's the hormones that are really governing what's happening. For the men, because of their traditional role in society, that they feel validated when they're making money and when they're in control. And really that is not the truth. So it's not just him, but it's generally the male population are validated and they're rewarded for being in control and, you know, not showing their feelings and, you know, helping out. So this person is in a mix of rajasic and tamas, moving him more to a sattva mode by, you know, the food and the diet. And this diet can also help increase his agni and breathing exercises. I would even, you know, say that a little bit of yoga, because he's already in rajasic mode, he'll actually enjoy some yoga, but more restorative yoga as well. So, you know, whatever he's open to.
Yeah, and he actually has been going to yoga, and every time he comes back, he's like, oh, it's so good for me. I really need it. And he's been making more of a commitment to go, and that's been nice because you can see it calms him down a little bit.
Okay. Is there anyone else who has any questions or comments? Carolyn, Aparna, Palak, Deepthi, for that's any comments, or and Christina, you have any comments or anything to add? Please go ahead. Yeah, it's a good case. It's a really good case, and I think it's not just this person, but that is also people who get a chronic disease. They are trying to hold on to heal themselves. They're trying so hard that they actually become more attached to their physical body. They're trying to control it. And this whole, yes, the whole thing with control. And if you could, you know, as a practitioner, tell them things are going to happen, you cannot control it. So, you know, don't worry yourself, stick over it. And, you know, really that makes us as Ayurvedic practitioners a little bit of a counselor and a little bit of a coach and a little bit of lifestyle guidance counselor. And it's a mixed bag, you know, the role that an Ayurvedic counselor, because there's so many protocols and so many modalities which are, you know, part and parcel of the whole Ayurveda package. So thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Whose was this? Okay, Christina, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Hello?
We can.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
This is myself, and just like last week, I did a lupus case, and this one is also a lupus case, which is a little different, but kind of the same. So this is mine. I have lupus, and I kind of want to describe a little bit. My pathology is I started out as being a pitta when I was born. It's changed into a vata, if you can see, and it's increased. And the reason I believe it's increased is because I'm a college student, so I've been in school for about 6 years, and I've been stressed out and, you know, wanting to be a perfectionist, and that was something that is related to pitta. So in my pitta dosha, I'm very sensitive to anything. Temperature changes, it gets from hot to cold, my skin gets really red, and it's like the pigmentation in my skin changes as well, and it's according to the sun. Sometimes I can just be walking from my car to my house, and all of a sudden I see something different in my skin. I have really low RBC, and it's due to the lupus. Sometimes I just feel really tired. The next one is, again, sensitivity to the sun. Sorry, I'm going down. Lack of clarity under pressure. Again, I said that I've been under pressure for about 6 years, and I also feel like I have to be a perfectionist, and I know it's something that it's, you know, part of me because of being a college student. So sometimes when I process too much information, I don't really get the concept, and I keep thinking to myself, like, I don't know what's going on, but the information is there. So I'm slow to process any information, and it's depending the level of stress I have and during the time of day that I'm processing the information. Again, my pitta's up. I have low lack of energy. I feel tired all the time. Sometimes whenever I exercise, like around noon, I feel better, but comes the night, like around nighttime, and I feel I'm back to feeling really tired. Um, Sometimes I feel like my neck is really like inflamed, and that's because I have thyroid problems as well because of the lupus. So inflammation of my lymph nodes applies to me. Again, I also tend to talk a lot fast, and it's sometimes I don't even know, it's unconscious that I'm talking really fast, and it's because is for some reason I feel like I'm very anxious and nervous and I want to get my point, but it's like I think about it and it's the way I'm processing it in my mouth doesn't really come like the way I want it to. And the only thing, there's nothing really wrong with my kapha except for my joints, and that is because it's related to my lupus. Sometimes I feel like they're cracking, and it's something that I've only felt this past year. I was diagnosed in the beginning of the year, so that's something new to me. Something that I think it's really that I've noticed is that I have a very high Angie, so whenever I eat food, I digest it really quick, but I also feel that sometimes I feel like I'm burning up inside. And I kind of think that that's because I have my high pitta, meaning that it's always on fire. I have my prana, low energy, and ojas is low immunity as well. So that's basically it. Hello?
Okay. What are the protocols that you follow?
What do you mean?
For yourself, what are the protocols that you follow?
Yeah, for myself, I kind of wanted to see where my state of mind was at first, and I realized that my state of mind was that I was anxious because I just don't know how I'm going to feel the next day, and I'm afraid that I'm going to feel sick. So I know that my state of mind is very imbalanced, and that is really why my vata is imbalanced. So that was my first start, like trying to find where my state of mind and where all these feelings were coming and what they were. Like, for example, fear, anxiety, they're all because, my vata is imbalanced. So it's really the first part of thinking, oh, that's the reason why I'm sick, because my mind is out of control.
So Aparna has a question for you, Christina, if you're on meds, like, are you?
Yeah, I was first on tonic on that one, but my stomach was rejecting it. Every time I would eat, I would feel sick, so they put me on something else. I can't take Plaquenil because I'm allergic to it.
Okay. Sahanaji, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, and in this case, it's like quite obvious your pitta is like really high, and I think it's burning up the ojas, causing all the lupus problems, because you have most of the problems related to the pitta, like skin issues, the high appetite, and you already said that you yourself feel like the pitta is burning everything. So that's exactly what's happening here. And as I said, your RBC is low and your pitta is high. I think you can use some of the things in your diet, like the pomegranate. It's one of the best thing which acts in the circulatory system, and along with that, it's very cooling and it's pitta pacifying. It pacifies the pitta and it acts on the circulatory system, and it might improve your hemophagocytic system. And another thing you could use in your diet for this problem is the raisins, the dry grapes. They are very good hemophagocytic substances. You can just soak them in the water and just eat them in the early morning and drink the water which you soaked, the raisins. And the raisins, they're pitta pacifying, they're cooling, and they can help to improve your RBC count. Other than that, definitely your mind, it's stressed, you said, maybe because of your studies or other things, so that need to be calmed down. So that will affect your prana. So that's all I think I want to add in this case. You did a great job too. So you discussed 2 studies of lupus in the last and this class. And again, as far as block 1 is concerned, that's all we need, the identification of subtypes which are involved. etc. Yeah.
Okay, so Christina, are you there? I have a few questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I was listening to you talk, and you've taken up a lot with your studies, and there's a lot happening inside you. So first of all, I think astrologically you're possibly going through a dasha, what we call a period of planetary affliction, which gives affliction. So that's something we can talk about. Atul can maybe do your chart. And you definitely want to be wearing something that cools down. I don't know, it could be influence of Mars, because Mars can create so much high stages that it'll burn up the ojas, which is a very typical case. I mean, we can't just say the pitta is high, but the pitta is high not just in your physical body, but also in your energetic body. And it's, you want to increase your kapha somewhat, you want to balance your vata. So maybe wearing pearls. Do you have pearls?
Pearls?
Yeah.
Oh,
Freshwater culture. Yeah. You should buy and you should wear pearls because pearls are very calming.
Okay.
And also focus on wearing light colored clothes, maybe white or light blue, the color of the sea. Don't wear red and orange or anything which is hot. They're very cool. Wear cotton clothes. So that is just a very simple protocol, just wear things that make you feel. Have you ever worn completely white, white shirt, everything white skirt, a white hat, and white pearls, like a little bride? Just do everything white, or it could be a shade of white, it could be a cream.
Yeah.
Or it could be light blue or light green, very peaceful colors. Avoid black, avoid red, avoid orange. For me, I do the opposite. I'm always wearing like bright colors because I want the Agni to increase. I'm a kapha. So pearls, if you know someone who can, help, who can actually, maybe we'll do it for you when we meet you, is empower your pearls. You can offer pearls to Hanuman or just start wearing regular freshwater clothes. So that's number one. That would really help. Number two is, of course, you will look at your chart. And number three is, I think actually doing the studies and it's keeping your mind off it because you seem to be afraid of this problem. Are you afraid of this problem?
Yeah, I'm very afraid. I think the fact that I can't pinpoint a problem of what's going on with me, like, when people have, I don't know, carpal tunnel syndrome, they know that's something wrong. But for me, I don't know. Like the next day I wake up and I have a different symptoms from the night before. So it's the fact that I don't know what's wrong with me. It affects me. It really does.
So first of all, I'm going to say the same thing that I said for Lisa's client, which was, what's going to happen is going to happen is going to happen because of a karma. Feeling afraid and keeping that fear inside will actually make you sicker. So right now, I want you to take the fear out and throw it out of the window, and that's when your healing is going to begin. Because, we are the creatures. I mean, if you can compare yourself with people who are handicapped or who don't have a leg or an arm, who can't even get up. I work on this guy. Sometimes I'll be hung on this guy. He's a paraplegic, and the guy is so inspiring. I go to his house to massage him, and he can't feel anything that I'm doing. I'm just doing Abhyanga, and I ask him to close his eyes and visualize that I'm actually massaging him. So if you compare yourself to such people, you should be grateful. You have a body. You have people who love you, you have a family, and just throw that. I think for your healing to begin, you cannot be afraid. It is it is high tejas, burning the ojas, and the fear itself is blocking the healing. And I see that in a lot of people who are afraid of a problem. And it's natural to be afraid, but acknowledge that you're afraid, and we're not saying that try to say, okay, I am afraid, but I'm not going to let it block my healing. So in your pranavaha srotas, if you have fear stuck there in your manovaha srotas and pranavaha srotas, then it's not going to heal you. Again, talking about pranavaha srotas and manovaha srotas, because you have that blockage, again, I cannot stress enough pranayama.
Okay.
Do you know any pranayama exercises?
Yeah, I sometimes I do them and they do help, but it is sometimes it's so hectic with school that it I just lose my place and I have to start over and have to remind myself. So I do wake up in the morning sometimes when like if I go to sleep the night before early, but it is really, really hard with my schedule. And I know I should be taking the time because it's only 15 minutes, 30 minutes of my time, but I do know some.
So don't do Kapalabhati so much because Kapalabhati increases Agni, but maybe doing Shitali and Aparna ji, you're probably a better person to tell her, what kind of pranayama she needs to do because Aparna does a lot of pranayama. But yeah, Shitali breath and simple breathing exercises, meditation, so important for you because, you have to take that 5 or 10 minutes out during the day for yourself, where you are in your own body, where in yourself. Don't think of finding the time. This is your health. This is your body. If you didn't have a body, there's nothing. So you have to commit yourself to the 10-15 minutes a day, and it does not have to be pranayama every single day. I mean, just take the 10 minutes out that I'm going to leave my worries and I'm going to leave my school and everything, and just do something that helps to calm me. I don't know, restorative yoga, walking around the ocean. I don't know where you live, but or maybe in a beautiful park with lots of plants. Now, going for a walk near beautiful flowers is amazing because trees and flowers have so much prana. Just what gives me prana, you would be surprised. When I go to Whole Foods and they have the produce section, I walk through the produce section like 5 or 6 times and I breathe in the prana from those organic produce, and it increases my chi. I mean, could you believe it? So just walking in a park with a lot of beautiful flowers and plants and trees, and they're giving out all this oxygen, and just smelling their prana, taking the prana and being grateful for them and saying, oh, thank you. So that is very good. So I think just walking in, so Atul and I have a little ashram, that we call our house a little ashram. So we talk to our plants, and the plants respond. I tell my jasmine, can you please give a lot of flowers because I need to offer it, and it'll listen to me. And there's nothing more than, if you go and touch a bark of a nice tree and you sit next to it, or you just gaze at the leaves, the prana that you will get from that is amazing. And just sitting there and breathing will help you. But be very aware that they also have consciousness and they have atma, and so do you. So the only really difference is they cannot speak and walk, and we can. But they can hear you, they can connect with you. Anyone who grows, who's a gardener, anyone as a gardener here, they will tell you how plants are helping heal. So I think because you're a little bit ungrounded, because of what's happening to you, and also because of the whole education, you're running around. Wherever you are, having a pot of flowers in your house, doing a little bit of gardening, and that would really help ground you. And also eating nice grounding vegetables, sweet grounding vegetables that help pitta. Make coconut your best friend. Coconut water, meat of the coconut. I attended Dr. Vasantlad's class yesterday, and he was saying, I don't know why they call it the meat of the coconut. It should be coconut pulp. It's vegetarian, but so yeah, coconut is your best friend. Coconut is the best friend of anybody with high tejas and high pitta. It's going to calm you down. And another best friend along with coconut, and you can actually order it, is, sorry, let me write it here. You have coconut water, coconut oil, cold pressed coconut oil, and if the coconut water can be fresh, great, but actually from Whole Foods you can get coconut water in a plastic container, but not so good, but it's still better. So cold pressed coconut oil, very, very cooling, very amazing. Then coconut water. Then you have rose water. Then drink rose hip tea, very cooling. Pitta tea. There's so many things. And worship Hanuman. Do some with Hanuman. Anybody who worships Hanuman, or if you have some planetary affliction going on because of the previous karma, so that will kind of calm down. So you can, I don't know, sing some Hanuman Chalisa, or if you know Hanuman mantras, that would be good. It really helps if you. So Hanuman is good for all these Mars issues because he is presiding deity for pitta issues. And I would even go. I wouldn't even. You have a question here. Yeah, this is great for pitta generally, very high pitta. So coconut milk also is good. I mean, you can have coconut milk in your tea. There you go. So what all do we have here? We have coconut milk, coconut water, coconut oil, rose water, rosehip tea, pitta tea. I would not give you tulsi tea at this point because tulsi tea is heating, but it's so sattvic, it's so calming. So maybe having a little bit of tulsi tea with rose hip. So Organic India actually has a brand of tulsi tea which is mixed with rose. That'll be very good for you. And you can also take Pitta Digest. I think Banyan Botanicals, I don't know if they still do it, but they did a Pitta Digest. And I don't want to overwhelm you with so many protocols, but this is mostly just food and worshiping Hanuman. So you can get a CD by Krishna Das, Hanuman Chalisa. So worshiping Hanuman is good. And also you can wear, if you can find a red coral, the gemstone. And if you're open to taking herbs from Maharishi Ayurveda, they actually have a particular herbal formulation for lupus. They're very, very complex. Once you get started on it, you'll have to take it for a long time, and we can talk about it later. But yeah, because their Vaidyas are downstairs right now. I can go and talk to them. And but again, the formulations by Maharishi were for lupus in such high pages that they actually have, these are called the Ayurveda herbs, and they're pretty amazing. We've had patients with MS, and their MS has gone into regression by using such herbs, even though MS is usually related to Vata issues. So does this satisfy you?
Yes, thank you very much.
Too much, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot to take in, and like right now I'm in the constant state of mind that I think I'm still trying to, I mean, it was just early January that I was diagnosed with lupus, and I'm still in the process of, taking everything in, and it's sometimes I just find myself, what do I tell people, am I healthy, am I not healthy? So it's just something that sometimes I'm just like, I just don't know. And I know that it affects myself and affects everybody around me because they want to help me, but I can't even help myself. And I'm doing a lot better, but than I was like before. But yeah, it's a lot to take in, but I do appreciate it. And I mean, I'm taking baby steps right now.
Well, coconut water, coconut oil, coconut milk, best friends. Rose water. Also, I forgot the rose jam. Oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Anybody's had rose jam? It is so astringent. It's so carminative. It is so cooling. It's too sweet, of course. I can never have it, but it's gulukand, yes. Rose jam for pitta is amazing. And Maharishi has this herb called digestone, which is just triphala with roses. It's ridiculously beautiful. It's really good. And you can make your own rose jam also, but you can get rose jam. So, having your pantry stocked up with pomegranate juice, raisins, rose jam, coconut is not actually, I would still call it a baby step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. So who do we have left? We have Deepthi left. Okay. Deepthi, are you there? Okay, so Beth, you want to go first because you have to go? Okay, can you upload your case study? I don't have it here, so if you...
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so this is actually mine. So I am 35, so I'm in pitta age. I'm practically just pitta as far as my prakriti goes. I'm very, very low vata and kapha, but my vata has increased a little bit and my pitta has gone down a little bit. I have psoriasis, which has actually gotten better since I started this class, which is great. I've been incorporating a much better routine, and I'm already seeing that it's getting better, so I'm really happy about that. But that's kind of my big problem is psoriasis. I've also had low blood pressure and cold hands and feet in the past. I definitely, especially in group, but even like this kind of situation, I tend to get tongue-tied and get a little bit nervous when I talk. So I think that's Donna Vata. And I tend to lose my voice when I get sick. I don't feel like I have too many problems with my digestion. I'm very regular, a couple of times a day, pretty much same times every day, and I don't seem to have problems with acidity either. Let's see. So I feel really good now, but in the past, I would say that I've had more issues with low energy than anything else. I have pretty good immunity. I think that's a prana issue. And let's see, anything else on here? Let's see. I'm nursing right now. I've either been pregnant or nursing for the last 4 years consistently. And I used to be much colder, but I've noticed that my body seems to be warmer these days. My hands and feet aren't as cold either. And my blood pressure is actually a little bit more normal now too than it was before I started nursing and was pregnant. My joints do crack just a little bit, and in the past I've had such a problem with routine. I've just been all over the place with my sleep patterns and my eating patterns, and everything has just been kind of a mess. But like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to tame that problem, and my health seems to be getting better, which is great. So yeah, let's see, what did I put for? So I feel like my problems seem to be more Vata related than Pitta. I think I can't, let's see, let me go down here. So I think that maybe my Udana Vata seems to be affected, and what's the other one? Maybe my Vyana Vata because of the blood pressure issues and my circulation, my hands and feet. Those were kind of the two things that I had really pinpointed. Yeah. Do you have any questions for me?
So we are kind of running out of time, so I'm going to ask a quick question. So first of all, because you're nursing, so you need things that are actually helpful for that, and Dr. Sahana had mentioned the fenugreek, so that is very good for you actually.
Okay.
You can get fenugreek or methi powder in an Indian store. Is there an Indian store near you?
Yes, there is. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you have it in small amounts because it is a little drying sometimes. So if you have it with maybe with the ghee or in your food, then it's fine. But small dosage. But shatavari, you should have lots of shatavari. Also eating asparagus generally, because shatavari is also, both shatavari and fenugreek are lactocoags, and they actually increase lactation.
Okay.
So these would, so you were right on the right track. So I looked at your protocols, and you've actually gone way beyond what we expect you to do. Very good protocols that actually will help you since you're already doing it. But maybe you want to, once you stop nursing, maybe just kind of focus on coming back into balance a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyone else have any questions? Dr. Sahana, any questions? Sahana, do you think?
Yeah, I'm just telling because she just mentioned, I believe, her hands and feet are really used to warm, but now she feels cold. Is that right, Kimberly?
Oh, they used to be colder, and I'm noticing since I've been pregnant and nursing that I'm warmer than I used to be. I mean, I still have a little bit of problem with it, but
okay, but it's not like bothering you or something.
No, not really. It's
okay.
Not better now.
Okay. Yeah, again, it's a Pitta the condition, the psoriasis, again, it comes under the autoimmune, and yeah, you did a good protocol, but instead of till, I think you should use some pitta pacifying oils for the application, even simple coconut oil or some coconut oil processed with some cooling herbs should be more beneficial in this case than just applying the sesame oil. So I think that's all I just wanted to add.
So pitta massage oil will be good.
Okay.
And some essential oils, but you know they won't even disturb the baby, because you know some oils which have very strong scent, and you do abhyanga and then the baby doesn't want to nurse because they don't like the smell. But if you have a regular coconut oil, which is food grade, and then you have essential oil of rose or sandalwood,
Okay.
then I don't think that will disturb the baby too much. I used to put kapha massage oil on myself when I was nursing, and it had mustard and these pungent smells. My baby wouldn't even come near me, so I had to bathe before I pick him up.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. That was really good. So I think now only Deepti is left. Oh, Paula is also left. Oh no, this we just did. This is not my computer, so I'm having a little bit of a problem opening everything. So give me 1 second. Here we go. Deepti, are you there? Oh, this is, we just did that. Where did it go? Can everybody see Deepti's case study?
It's in regards to a 29-year-old woman with candida overgrowth. She suffers from low blood pressure. There are constant changes in mood. She feels fatigued, and there's constipation and bloating after eating. Her prakriti is it's like vata and kapha, and her vikruti increased in kapha and pitta, more kapha. So she, like mentally, she's more pitta. She's so perfectionistic due to probably in her past she had these issues with his dad. For Mexicans, it's said to be machista, which means that it's all about what men say. You know, whatever the male tells you, you do it. And he used to be really like hard on her. So because of that, she's been always suppressing her emotions, and which I think is very correlated to her fungus or candida. And she has, I don't know, like mentally she can be really, really perfectionistic, but physically she doesn't work out, she doesn't do anything to help herself. I don't know, like whenever I speak to her, she tends to be really depressed or sad, but tries to mask it, like tries to be like, oh no, everything is fine, but still whenever you get into conversation with her, she portrays that she's sad. And so I don't know, like her immune system, she tends to get the flu a lot. Her tejas are excessively high, and ojas, of course, because of her immunity. Her prana portrays fatigue. I kind of suggested to do the kapha pacifying diet to help with, the candida and her emotions, in order to work with her emotions. Do yoga asanas to balance her pitta dosha, and to be more gentle with herself all the time rather than be so hard on herself. Oh, yeah, and that too. She craves a lot of sweets. So that's about it.
Okay, let's, because this is the last case study we have for the end of our course. How about the students ask questions? And then, Dr. Sahana and I'll jump in at the end. Why don't you ask Beth about it? Beth has a flourishing practice in Chula Vista in San Diego. And, she's pretty famous. She goes on radio, and she's a very successful practitioner. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah. Has she been?
No diabetes yet. I mean, I told her if she doesn't take care of herself, that's probably going to happen, diabetes. But
it could be a pre-symptom that she might already be pre-diabetic. It's possible because there's so many. And she's craving sweet emotionally as well. She's craving sweets because sweet is a comfort food, and when you're emotionally dry and empty, so it's a comfort food for her. And look at all of that: the lack of clarity, low energy, fatigue. So maybe substituting her sweet tooth with something which is more naturally sweet. Berries, maybe, that's also good for kapha. Anybody else, please go ahead and ask a question or comment, please.
I was gonna ask if you think the panchakarma could help her, the detox.
Yeah, but I think she has mental ama. So there's ama in the body. Definitely, she has of years and years of ama, but she also has mental ama. So when she's so deprived. Emotionally, she's so deprived of love and rust that she's making up for it by craving sweets, and her body is showing kapha issues, which is candida, and her body is manifesting all this, and this is just the beginning of the body's manifestation of these symptoms. She's probably in the stage where her issues are going to get chronic in the next couple of years, and she will have more symptoms. But I wouldn't want her to detox her body so much at this point, but start her off with, the mental ama. And as she's ready, like right now, what is the season right now? It is almost spring. So maybe fall would be a better time for her to do panchakarma. So in the next 5 or 6 months, if you could also focus not just on, preparing her physically, because a kapha person and kapha issues, it's very, very, very slow. I should know. It takes me, ages being a kapha to lose 1 pound. So kapha is really slow. And mentally, what is mental ama, especially this is a kapha tamasic ama-ish, it's stuck to her brain. It's stuck to her srotas. So yeah, like you said, the yoga, vinyasas, getting things moving in her mind and her body is very important. And look at this, she's depressed, lack of clarity, low energy. This is her sadhak pitta, her prana is down. She needs to breathe, she needs to move, she needs to make things flow. She's fatigued. yeah, she needs to change her diet. Like you definitely want to move her. She seems very tamasic. You know tamasa, right?
Oh yeah. Mhm.
So we need to move her from tamasa to more rajasa. You know, tamasic foods are out. She has to not eat meat. It's very tamasic. It has to be a little bit more rajasic. It's okay. She can have maybe more, you know, she can have fish, not as tamasic as regular meat, and she should have a lot of fresh vegetables, cruciferous vegetables like cabbage and broccoli and Brussels sprouts and lots of cruciferous, which are very astringent. All, you know, pitta kapha reducing. So very, very good astringent, pomegranate, berries, and, you know, cooked fruits. And corn is, you know, she can have fresh corn tortillas, and she can have, but she should strictly avoid dairy, and she should strictly avoid. And one thing you can do for her, like starting now, is, you know, give her a lot of tulsi tea protocols and turmeric protocols, because tulsi tea is very sattvic. And again, the same thing that I told Christina, maybe at this point, because her, you know, she has this emptiness in her heart, and she's filling that up with all this sweet and all this, you know, nonsensical things that she must be eating and thinking. So she needs to, you know, she probably needs to go into a meditation or guided meditation program, because you need to guide her with the meditation program. And giving her tulsi tea, not ghee, because not at this point, tulsi tea is very sattvic. Giving her turmeric protocols, maybe turmeric tablets at this point. Just to, I think, focusing not just on the kapha protocols, but removing the mental ama, moving things. Again, going for a walk in a garden with beautiful flowers, and right now it's spring. You know, Chula Vista is beautiful, and San Diego is beautiful. So maybe finding a nice park where she can go to. Maybe going to the Mission Bay Park, and, you know, just releasing and going for walks in such areas, and, you know, taking in the prana and letting the things that are stuck inside her, the ama, mental ama, can really get stuck. So, you know, make a 6-month program for her. So by the time she is sometime in fall, she can undergo panchakarma. I mean, maybe she will do better, but usually kapha issues, they're really sticky and it takes time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, she is. And also Blissful Joy. What do you think about that?
Blissful Joy is good for her. So everybody else, Blissful Joy is good, and of course tulsi tea is good. Even tulsi tablets are good, and you can give her digestone as well, because digestone has the roses in it as well. So I think that's about it. Very good job. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry for my.
Oops. Sorry, I missed the last part. What was that?
I said I'm sorry for my accent. I'm working on it.
Oh, please. We all have an accent. Okay. So let's see. So you know what? That's it. Our course is finished. Last class, we're all done. Many of you are already in block 2. Some of you are planning to join in August. So, you know, that'd be fantastic. And I hope those of you who are not able to join the block 2 now will do. I know that Carolyn is starting practice with a couple of other Ayurveda practitioners of where she is. So best of luck. Hope you do very well. And I pray to Lord Krishna that your journey in Ayurveda be very fruitful. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sahana ji. It was an absolute joy to have all of you.